I remember when I had my first fight when I was 17-year-old. The show was being held in the Brothers pub down in Postle. That's where it was, believe it or not. So when they had erected the ring in the middle of the pub, it was quite, I can't remember the pub exactly, but I'm over 6 feet tall, so the show had to get cancelled because my head was touching the lights.
No way.
And then I had to reschedule the show. I had to come back and fight again. 3 rounds it lasted, and I stopped the boy, and then it just progressed from there. So as an amateur, I had 49 amateur fights and I lost 5. Just stupid losses, when you've not been training and stuff. I entered the British Championships as well. It was David Hayes' younger brother I fought in London. In the finals I got disqualified. When you're in London, people, it was a full house, and what happened was he was holding my gloves and not letting go, and he was moaning at the ref that I'm holding. But in fact, he was kept holding my arm and not letting it go. I got a couple of warnings for that, and then whatever round it was, the referee disqualified me, and that was it. Yeah, that's what happened there. But I mean, boxing's got its good bits when you're doing well, when you're fit, training, and you're on top of the world. You feel nobody's fitter than you. It's the best feeling ever.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Judge Reviews podcast, the show where Glasgow superstars sit in the hot seat and tell their story. Before we dive in, big shout out to the legends that keep the show cooking: Steak Lounge and Grill, Spuddies, the original Mr. Chef, Figos, and with support from Send Location, our market partner of choice. And if anyone's looking for a shop fit out, speak to Quantum Builders. Okay, so today's guests aren't chefs, but trust me, they know pressure, discipline, and putting people in the spotlight. Tonight's guests don't just throw punches, they pull strings. They know the fight game from both sides of the ropes. One works a corner, the other works a contracts. Between them, they decide who gets laced up and who gets paid, and who gets knocked out if we turn up unprepared. Welcome to the hot seat, Raz and Shehbaz from Ringtime Promotions and RT Elite Promotions.
Right. Nice to meet you. How you doing?
Things alright, aye?
Good. I was trying to think of as many knockout innuendos as I could think of for your intro. But just for the guys...
Sounds good. Good.
The guys watching, these boys are big, man. Like, a lot of people met me, I'm tall, but... How tall are you?
I'm 6'5".
6'5"?
6'5", yeah.
I'm like 6'1".
You're not 6'1", bro. I'm
Maybe
6'1".
I must be 6'2" then.
More than that.
Sometimes when if I'm sitting down and I stand up, people say, "Whoa, you're tall." In fact, I was in a meeting just a little while ago, and I stood up. The guy says, "Well, you're tall."
You must get one of them if someone's horning at you and then you jump out of the car.
Oh, many times it's happened.
That's the wrong guy, mate.
Don't want to start with you, man. That's for sure. Right, so I'm going to tell you now, if I get mixed up with RT Elite Promotions and Ringtime Promotions, just correct me, right?
No, that's fine.
I know the two different things which we'll come on to. Right, so Raz and Shehbaz, brothers?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, you can both answer however you want, but let's go.
He's the older one, by the way.
No, I'm the younger one. He's the older one.
Oh, really?
So which one do you think? Who looks younger, him or me?
I'm not saying the wrong answer here. It's not twins, in it?
No.
Definitely not twins.
No, I know your age, you told me.
I told you.
Aye, so he's the older one. You're right.
I never told you his age. 45.
You're 45?
No, I'm not 45. Exactly. No.
Oh shit. No one wants to.
No, he's a younger one.
I'm the younger brother, aye.
But to be fair, you don't look your age either.
No, how old do you reckon?
Mid-30s.
Yeah, it's a compliment. Knock 10 years off me.
Oh, you'll knock me out if I don't say that. Right, boys, so let's go back to the beginning, right? In fact, before we even talk about boxing, what did you guys do before boxing?
So we've got a family business, obviously it is in the food industry. So my father he's always been into the food game, and we always helped out in that. But what happened was we were always kind of training, doing... I actually, before I even took up any boxing at all, I swam. So I was a swimmer. I actually swam for a Scotland team.
No way.
So I was the only Asian, back then anyway, only like Asian as Muslim that was swimming for a Scotland team.
Wow.
So that was something I was into, and that obviously change of heart, I wanted every change, so
So
took up the
impressive.
box.
I don't hear about any Muslim or Asian people doing any kind of sports professionally?
No, it was coming from our family's always been into sports, you know.
Aye.
So it's not just myself, my brother, but just in general, we've always had that from our parents. Normal Pakistan origin parents would be like, kind of wasn't very common for them to encourage the kids to go into it, but
Aye.
they kind of helped us in that sense.
Sorry, my mum, she's the one that put me as into a boxing gym at the age of 13.
Aye. Why did she do that?
Because we used to annoy her. And when she was working in her office next door to her, there was a boxing gym, and she took us in there around about, we were 12, 13-year-old I was. And she took me in there one day and says to the person that owned the gym, Charlie Kerr, I was actually from Govan Hill.
Okay.
And she said, look, want to keep him busy, training, whatever, just to look after him for a couple of hours.
Aye.
And from then it started from there. I stuck to it, 3 times a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays.
Aye.
And and it just went on from there.
So you both just went straight into boxing at a young age, and that was your aspiration then?
From a young age, and then, from a young age, I wasn't always fit. I had asthma when I was a young kid, really bad asthma, breathing difficulties. So boxing helped me kind of get rid of that, and helped me get my breathing better, get me fitter, get my heart stronger. Because I remember when I used to be when I was in school, like in first year. I don't know if you remember doing cross country. So I came to a stage, I was like, at the end, I was last because I had asthma. I was like really bad, And then as I got fitter over time, I was boxing, my boxing training helped me a lot. Get me stronger, fitter, get my heart rates pumping always, and I had that, my endurance, I built up my endurance and my stamina. I came to a point as time went on, like from first year to second year, when you cross country, I was never in. I was blitzing through it, keeping up with the top runners at that point.
That's the thing about the sport of boxing. It helps you in many things. It's not just fitness, stamina. Stop you from a lot of bad things, and it's a positive road for somebody who's like on the wrong path or anything.
Yeah.
Kind of helps them mentally as well. So it's good.
You see, boxing training, people say that is the best exercise you can do.
100%. I agree.
Yeah, 100%.
Definitely.
Boxing training is one of the hardest sports in the world, but the training, it consists of you're doing your, like a normal, for a full-time athlete, your training consists of, going for a run in the morning. That could be like either you're doing a 3 or a 5 mile jog, for example.
Aye.
You can incorporate sprints into that. And then if you're splitting your sessions up, in mid-morning, you could be doing your boxing training, your punching, your bag work, and your sparring in the morning.
Yeah.
And then in the afternoon, you're in the evening, you're doing strength and conditioning to finish off the day. So there's a lot involved. It's broken up into many aspects of training.
Yeah.
You get your strength, conditioning, your fitness. People are even bringing swimming into it, doing swimming in the mornings. It just depends what people want out of it and how far they want to go, how much work they want to put into the sport.
What you put in is what you get out. That's the way I've always looked at it. It's like anything. It doesn't matter if it's any sport, any kind of industry, whether it's the building game, whether it's the food game, whether it's sports. What you put in, what you'll get out. And the more effort you put in, the more you'll get out. And that's always been the case for anything. And I think there's a lot of potential.
Seeing like boxing training, seeing people on Sky Sports when the boxers are on, talking about getting up like mega early and stuff.
Yeah.
Is that what you really do?
Yeah, because it depends, because if they're training full time, how many hours in the day, they need the rest. They need to break the sessions up. They need the boxing training. They need the sparring sessions in. They need to do their running to get their heart rate pumped, to get their fitness levels up, to build up their stamina. And then they've got the strength and conditioning sessions, and then they need the rest as well. So ideally, the morning time, it works best for people when they're up early bells, 5, 6 o'clock, doing their road work, running, or whenever suits them. But it just depends how they adjust their own timetable and fit it into their lifestyle.
It's hard. A lot of people work 9 to 5 jobs, so it's kind of trying to find time. If you've got kids, family, all these things, they make a big impact on a person as well, how much time they can give to the actual sport. So this is where we come into it, like we kind of arrange, like if, for example, with RT Elite, if you're wanting to fight on the show, we can give you like a 6-week training camp. This is beneficial for people who are busy in their lives, and we can all we'll get them together, set a time for them so they can train. and it makes it easier for them. So they're like, everyone can meet at the one place, train together, and they're in a good environment, you know, and making sure everything's safe. You've got proper coaching involved.
Seeing people come for like a boot camp, do they fuck them up? If they just come in saying, "I want a boxer,"
Really, well, I know. We'll start them off, take it easy, and then
You need to break them into it gently, and then
you might put them off in it.
if you go and if somebody a beginner comes in, you know, can't throw them in the deep end. You know, they'll say, "Take the gloves, we're not coming back." So you need to break them in gently, you know, because they need to first of all love the sport. In order to take part in it, you need to be interested and you need to have love for it and passion for the sport. Otherwise, you wouldn't do it.
True. That's what one thing I like is when people come in, they see, you know what, start them off with like just a wee warm up and a bit of stretching, get them skipping, get them used to, you know, the basics. The main thing in this is getting them used to the basics. Once they're used to the basics, then you can maybe put them into sparring. We'd all start them with body sparring, nothing too hard, so they get a feel of the ring and they feel comfortable to come back another time. Because if you throw them in the deep end, for example, if I throw somebody in, so let's just say somebody's had a good few fights and you throw them in, and the guy hits him a couple, he's not going to come back. He'll laugh, "You're alright, not getting my face broke."
No, it's that. I've seen it over the years where some people that are beginners have went in the ring with somebody that's a bit more experienced, and when they've taken hard shots, they're not going to come back.
It's going to put them off, isn't it?
It puts them off straight away. So, you know, you need to be able to work with people at all kinds of levels, and you need to adjust your training, the camp to suit them as well. You need to see everybody's at different levels. Some people will have never boxed before or stepped foot in a boxing ring, or they've not even thrown a punch before, and then you need to take that into consideration, you know, and then either you set up training at a basic level where everybody can take part and perform the exercises, and then when you have them one-on-ones, you can try to correct them, you can try, you know, tell them to do this, do that, do this, try this. You can pick out their faults, pick out their mistakes, and then work with them.
Okay. 2 quick questions, right, just before I forget. What's your favourite swimming stroke?
Mine is obviously front crawl, freestyle. This was just kind of front crawl. Always preferred that. Always had this thing that helps with your breathing. You do the first 2 and the third one's always a deep breath and back in. So there's a technique involved.
You've seen the one that's like a fish, they go like this?
Aye, so that's called the butterfly.
Butterfly?
The butterfly, aye.
That's heavy hard into it?
That's hard, aye.
That's hard. That's probably the hardest.
That is the hardest one. That's when you're using most your strength as well, when you're double arms.
That's why when you see swimmers, they've got an amazing physique, amazing build. They're tall.
Aye.
You know, they've got big, broad shoulders out to there. It's got when they're doing the kind of strokes and that, they're very, very strong because it's very a powerful stroke. It builds a lot of muscle in your body.
I mean, swimming also obviously helps with the boxing. When it comes down to your breathing, your lungs. Think about it. To last in a ring, you need stamina. You need to be able to have good lungs, good breathing, and swimming's the best sport for something to help combine the two.
Yeah.
So it's good that way.
And one more. Can you train or get better at punch resistance?
Yep.
Aye, 100%.
Aye.
You can't
Practice makes perfect. The more, I mean, it depends on your weight category, what kind of weight you are, and it depends on your reach as well. And you know, when all of them come into play together, when you're snapping out a punch using your full reach and you turn your body into the punch, and right at the end is where the snap happens, and that's when the full power generates into that punch.
99%, well, not even 90%, 100% of you, the boxing, it all comes from your legs and hips. You're driving from your hips and legs, and people don't realise that the importance of your legs when it comes to punching. Your hips and your legs, your strength is coming from the bottom.
It's perfecting the technique.
Aye, that's the main thing.
The more you practice, the more you work at it, the better you're going to get. Repetition is the key. Repetition, and it's just about perfection. You know, they need, even any boxer, even the professionals, they keep doing the same thing day in, day out, day in, day out.
So you master the same technique, and that's it. You become better. It's like anything.
It's becoming the master of your arts.
Yeah. So before we talk about what you're doing now, just curious so everyone can hear, what is your boxing records, or what did you do when you were younger, and how far did it go?
So, on you go.
No, it's obviously as I was doing the swimming, I kind of, as a hobby, firstly, I just took up the boxing. My brother was obviously boxing, and I was like, you know what, we change. I went check out. So, I'm left-handed, So I'm southpaw. So 90% of people are orthodox, which is right-handed.
Yeah.
So I had a benefit. So I was like, you know what? There's no many people. So when I fit in, a lot of people holding the pads were like not used to holding it for a left-handed person. So when I was doing that, I started enjoying it. I got a good feel of it, and I started like doing a bit of sparring in the local gyms, and then I was like, you know what? I'm enjoying this, and then I kind of just stuck to it and started going a wee bit more regular.
Yeah.
And that just got me into the sport altogether. I was just like, you know what? Got a good feeling for this, good love for this.
Did you do any like amateur fighting?
So I done a couple of amateur fights. I think it was like a Scotland v England select. This was years ago.
Aye.
I fought, and same story there. Again, I got a good feel there. I was like, you know what? This was good. I went out, performed well, got the win, and then had a second fight. And then after that, I kind of got busy with family business. So we've got a family business, and I kind of got sidetracked, so I kind of went into that. So I was like, one of your brothers needs to help, It was just a kind of Asian thing, like, you've got family business, always one brother or some family member will get roped in it.
Asian thing, as you know. So I kind of getting to do that all easily.
I got that end of the stick, I ended up getting into the family business. I was stuck in there. Whereas he kind of continued and obviously stuck to his boxing in that sense.
For me, it was from training. I trained constantly when I was younger, 13, 14-year-old, 15-year-old. And I never eventually got to fight at that stage. I kept training. Initially, when I started, I was watching people that have been there for years and picking up myself.
Yeah.
And picking up myself, watching what they're doing, watching how they're punching and stuff like that. Because, when there's a lot of people, there's not enough trainers.
Aye.
And I remember back then, I used to watch the ones that have the elders back then and the ones that have been there for years.
Yeah.
And then sometimes some of them, even if they never fought themselves, they'd say, look, try to do this, you're doing this wrong, try to correct me and this and that. And you kind of pick up as you go along.
Yeah.
You watch videos. I used to watch a lot of boxing videos and stuff like that. And I used to watch this. I used to watch the fights on telly. And I used to pick up pointers from there. And as time went on, eventually, when I was about 16, I changed gyms.
Right.
And I went to the East End of Glasgow.
Right.
I went to the Scottish National, which was down in Gallowgate, Alex Morrison's boxing gym. And from there, I was training there. I had a trainer called Hugh Duffy. Back then, he was a great trainer. The trainer was from Ireland. And he worked with me for a while. And then I remember when I had my first fight when I was 17-year-old. The show was being held in the Brothers pub down in Postle. That's where it was, believe it or not. So when they had erected the ring in the middle of the pub, it was quite, I can't remember the pub exactly, but I'm over 6 feet tall, so the show had to get cancelled because my head was touching the lights.
No way.
And then I had to reschedule the show. I had to come back and fight again. That was the first time, so that's how I always remember it. And the first fight, second or 3 rounds it lasted, and I stopped the boy, and then it just progressed from there. So as an amateur, I had 49 amateur fights, and I lost 5. Just stupid losses, when you've not been training and stuff. And then I entered the British Championships as well when I was as a youth as well. It was David Hayes' younger brother I fought in London.
Okay.
So I got disqualified against him in the final. In the finals, I got disqualified. When you're in London, the crowd. It was Prince Nassim. He was in the crowd. Lennox Lewis was in the crowd. There was a lot of because they had won this. The GB, the ones I was taking part in, and David Hayes, obviously he was present as well, and whole family, a lot of people. It was a full house, and what happened was. In the second, I can't remember exactly what round it was. When you're in a clinch, he was holding my gloves and not letting go, and he was moaning at the ref that I'm holding. But in fact, he was like kept holding my arm and not letting it go. I got a couple of warnings for that, and then whatever round it was, the referee disqualified me, and that was it. Yeah, that's what happened there. But boxing's got its good bits when you're doing well, when you're fit training and you're on top of the world. You feel. Nobody's fitter than you. It's the best feeling ever, But the downside as well is when you're fighting and you need to make weight. And I remember when I was fighting across all over England, when I was fighting in competitions, I remember this in particular, I was a light heavyweight. Because, you know, when you're growing as well, you know, I'm tall, so I'm putting weight on as well as time goes on. And, you know, when I was away with the Scotland team, I remember we were at a show in Liverpool. So I was fighting the champion for there, and I was a Scottish champion at the time. And so in the morning, so the coach, we went the day before, in the coach with the Scotland team, stayed in a hotel. And in the morning, off the actual day of the event, chap at my hotel door, right, Raz, you'll need to go for a 5-mile run. You're a bit overweight by a few pounds. So I got all my gear on, went for a 5-mile run, and when I've come back, down to the boiler room in the hotel, and got the skipping out. Skipping is roasting. You know, we do the laundry room, it's roasting in there. Found an area big enough to do your skipping, do the pad work. I was knackered at this point, I had no energy, so I wasn't allowed to drink. No water, nothing.
You can make the weight.
To make the weight, so you're drained and dehydrated. So by the time I went upstairs, got a shower and everything, and they're like, Raz, you can't eat because just in case my weight goes back up by 1, 2 or 3 pounds. And I'm upstairs in a cafeteria bit in the hotel, and the boys that have made weight, they're all eating all sorts of eggs for their breakfast, cereals, porridge, custard, cakes. I'm sitting there with my mouth watering, looking at everybody. God, I'm starving at this point. So the days went on, you know yourself, you're getting tired. You know, you're getting a few more drained. I'm still not allowed even a sip of water. So in the evening, the team's been picked up, we've been taken to the venue. And we've arrived at the venue, so we're going to get weighed in. So I've stood on the scales. I was fighting that that night because I was the heaviest. So it says to me, you're about 4 pound over the weight limit.
No way.
4 pound over the weight limit. He goes, we'll give you 1 hour to take that off.
How?
So 1 hour. So I've had to go away, find a wee area, put a sweatsuit on, a couple of jumpers, t-shirts over it. Put, you know, your shorts on, tracky bottoms on.
There's as much sweat you can do.
Sweat, as much sweat. So the trainers, the coaches, they're holding the pads. You're doing all the pad work. Sweat dripping off you. Skipping, hardcore skipping. So under an hour now this is. So I went back to get weighed in again. He goes, "Not Raz, you're still a pound over." So I've had to put the gear back on, away again. Pad work again, skipping, a wee bit of exercise to sweat it out more. I've come back then, like I used to be. You're just a little bit over. So I had some jewellery on, and my boxer, I've had to strip down pure naked, stand in the scales, which is a fact, I'm telling you the truth. And I've made the weight. And then see, after you've made the weight, you're knackered. Now this is now in the evening now, we're moving on into the evening, 6, 7 o'clock, the show's begun. And I've just found that, you know, I had a Mars bar or a sandwich or a bottle of Lucozade to try to, you know, get my energy levels back up. But, you know, you're so tired because you can't really go and have a big meal now. So I found a wee area in the back somewhere, and I've went and got a bit of rest, went to sleep for a bit. I said, give me a shout when I'm like nearly on. I'm thinking to myself, I'm not going to be on till about midnight anyway, late on anyway. So the boxers that were fighting kept getting beat. And they're like, Raz, you're on soon, because that's quick. So by the time I've got ready, and now the boy, the champion from Liverpool at the point, he was on the opposite side of the hall. So he's on the pads going boom, 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 showing off and all, and I knew that I could see him. And I've just stretched, nice and relaxed. Hardly done any shadow boxing. I was still feeling that. I was still feeling knackered. I was just nice and relaxed, so relaxed. You know, and then it's round about midnight. We went into the ring. I think you were there as well. I hope you were there as well. So he's like this in the ring, ready to go for it. So first bells went ding ding. I walked to the middle. I'm not kidding when I say this. The boys threw a left jab. I've bobbed it over with a left hook, caught his chin, he's went down. That was it done.
No way.
I'm like, thank God that was it done, yeah.
Oh my God.
You know, thank God I could go and eat it.
I could go and eat it, it was done, you know. And if I'd went on, you know, I would have won it anyway. But, you know, just stuff like that, it shows you on the other side what fighters need to go through. Because to make weight and to kill themselves, what they need to go through, how it affects them, people don't see that side.
So tell me, see Chris Eubank Jr.,
Yes.
he had 2 fights, right? And they were both catch weight. So he had to do the cut and the reaching limit on both.
Yes.
Why was he so fucked in the second fight?
Is that as well because he had to cut weight?
We did it in the first fight and he got through it.
You got through it. It affects your body different every time. Okay. You know, sometimes you still could have a bit of energy. It depends on the day. You know, that's a big, massive event. There's nerves come into play as well. That your nerves, it takes your energy away as well. And, you know, sometimes, you know, through your training camp and when you're cutting weight, it might affect your performance. Yeah. So, you know, and it'll show in the night. You know, sometimes his brain might want to do something, but his body's not letting him do it because, you know, he's not all there. You know, and then cutting weight is not healthy. Yeah. But again, you know, that's what fighters need to go through.
I think with Chris Eubank Jr. when he fought, so I was at the first show. Right. I actually attended the first show there, the first fight they had, and obviously went. He put on a great performance. It was good, but I think with the first one, I don't know, it was more of a family rivalry, and it was I don't know, he just had that heart that he was going to do it that day, and I feel in the second one it was the opposite way. It was more of a revenge. It was more of a you know. Eubank and the Benz, it's always been, always for the fathers, it's always been the rivalry for day one, and I think it was just kind of had to get settled with the sons, and I think with the second.
Even like Conor Ben, you've seen him, he's like a machine, he's like a wee warrior, he doesn't stop, he keeps coming for you.
He had the advantage back then in those fights. Yeah, the weight was an issue for him.
The weight was an issue, aye. So I think he was more prepared in the second fight, he knew what to expect, and I think every single thing he didn't do in the first fight, he done in the second. And I think Eubank had a mindset, like I said, as the first fight. He thought, I've done them before, I've went through, I can do it again. He didn't go in as prepared as Conor Ben did. And I think Conor Ben had the upper hand in this one, in the sense, one, he didn't need to make weight. This is natural weight, so he fought at the natural weight. And two, I think Conor Ben had this thing where he's like, you know, I need to get this win. He had it the whole way. It was like, I don't think the guy slept until he got this win, and I think he had more dedication and commitment for the second one.
Because you need to remember after the first fight between them, I mean, Eubank was in hospital for a couple of days as well after it. You know, it does have a impact on your health. You can, you know, boxing's that kind of sport where you can die. Yeah. You know, the way they cut weight, etc., can have major effects on your health. You know, and your brain especially. Yeah. You know, you're cutting off, you know, you can oxygen your brain, or you're doing all sorts of things. And, and look, he came back the second time. Again, he did have to cut weight again, and it, showed in his performance. So he probably felt, listen, my brain's no, my hands aren't moving the way I want them to move. I've not been able to do or move. My brain's saying to do this, but my body's not doing it, you know?
Yeah. To be honest with you, boxing is one of those sports. You get somebody once, you can catch them. You catch them, they're down. You know, you've seen it many times.
Yeah, one punch, that's it. One punch knock it, that's it. It doesn't matter how big.
Especially in the heavyweight game, as you've probably seen so many times. We've seen it with Anthony Joshua, Andy Ruiz. You know, how you got beat. You know.
Man, that's so funny. I still don't understand how that happened.
You know, people say, like he's got a good physique, he's this and he's got a lot of weight on him and this and that. By the end of the day, the guy's got heart. Right, you can't take that away from Andy Ruiz Jr. either. He had heart, and on top of it,
he's a brilliant boxer. He can box. Fast hands.
He's got fast hands. Like people look at this person, and people underestimate somebody by looking. That's the
looks can be deceiving,
and that's something that's very, very true, because in boxing, looks are deceiving. Sometimes you see the fittest of the fittest looking. Versus somebody who's, let's just say, looks overweight.
Tyson Fury.
Biggest example, Tyson Fury. But again, their footwork's good. They're more relaxed. You know, it's not just your footwork. It's your brain as well.
You're having your hand, eye, feet coordination. You know, and using your brain all at the one time. You know, you're being loose. You're being flamboyant. You've been moving. You're using your feet work. You know, using your feet work. Feet work gets you out of trouble. Again, having fast hands, just let your hands go. It's, everything comes into play, emotional all at one
Definitely.
time.
I think even touching on that, like you'll see a lot of Usyk, Alexander Usyk, he does a lot of dancing.
Yeah.
Now, why does he do that? For footwork, for movement, and that helps him in his fights.
Yeah.
People laugh. Like you say, a normal, average Joe, look, we're going to do a bit of dancing. He'll be like, no bother, mate, see you later.
You know something about dancing? We're just touching on that. My former trainer, John McNair, who's passed away now, he used to say to me, look, if you're going out, guys, at night time, make sure you just hit that dance floor, stay on the dance floor all night, because it's good for your feet work. Honestly, he used to say, if you're out on the weekends, make sure you're on that dance floor, dancing the night away, use your feet, you're moving your feet, it's good for your feet work.
Good.
Like dancing is actually a big part of boxing, but people don't realise.
Yeah.
And it stops you from being flat-footed, because a lot of people are flat-footed.
Aye.
Whereas if you're on your toes, you're always bobbing and weaving.
Look at Muhammad Ali, look at he
He's
used to
the
move,
best
smooth
of them.
operator, on his toes, dancing for the full 12 rounds, if it went to 12 rounds, never stopped, moving left, right. The people didn't know where the punches were coming from.
Yeah.
Same with Sugar Ray Leonard, he was another one, but an excellent boxer. Same with him, footwork was outstanding,
Speaking of legends, Raz, you've sparred a legend, which I wanted to get more info out of you now. Mike Tyson.
Yeah, so Mike Tyson came about at the time in Glasgow. I was a Scottish champion. I was young, I was about 17, 18 years old at the time.
Yeah.
And, I was upcoming, and I won the championships. I was ranked number 2 in the GBs. I got a silver medal. And at that time, Mike Tyson fought Luis Alvarez in Glasgow, which lasted 38 seconds in Hampden.
That's right, I remember.
So I was in the gym at that point. So when he landed in Glasgow, he was training in that gym as well, in the old Gallowgate in Sydney Street, in Morrison's gym.
Was it Zab Judah as well?
Zab Judah came a few days prior, maybe a week prior to that. Zab Judah at the time was a IBF champion, and he came with his entourage, and everybody was training away for this event. And then when Mike Tyson landed a few days later, that's when all the media circus began. And it was good. I got to meet him and stuff, and I got to meet the team, and the opportunity came just to move about. It wasn't pure, serious enough that he was going to knock me out, I'm going for him. I was only a young lad. I'm like, this guy's scary. This guy's scary. He's just looking at him.
Was he intimidating and stuff, or was he being friendly?
No, he was being friendly, but he does look intimidating. So when you're a 17, 18-year-old lad, and, Mike Tyson's got this big scary reputation for all those years, and he's been knocking people out. Youngest heavyweight champion, 18-year-old.
That's right, round about that.
Round about that age. And again, the guy, he's like a tank. He's a machine.
Is he big?
Aye, he's big. And I was just like this tall, thin, skinny boy. I was a light heavyweight, or just around about that way. I wasn't even a fully blown heavyweight at that time. It was a good experience, and he didn't knock me out.
That's good. Mike Tyson.
And again, it was good to have that experience, and meet people like that, meet somebody of that, somebody who's achieved so much in the game at that time. And again, it was a new experience for me, and again, from there, it just kind of went on from there.
So moving on from Mike Tyson, right? So you're Scotland's first licensed Asian boxing promoter.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
So being Scotland's first Asian boxing promoter, now in the history of Scotland there hasn't been anybody.
That's what I was thinking.
Because boxing has always been my passion. I've always been involved with the sport. I fought as an amateur. I did turn professional as well. And back in 2008, I only had the one pro fight, and that was it. I was on and off in injuries over the year, so I actually had a short career in that respect. And I've always been interested, and even back then when I was in my 20s, I always wanted to get into the promotional side of it. But when you're young, your brain functions differently. And whereas as you mature, you go through life, you learn life lessons, you learn how business operates, how business works. And so when it came to around about 2018 and 19, I was actually studying law. So I went back to study after years, and I done a diploma in legal services. Then I went on to complete my law degree, and which kind of helps in dealing and doing event side of things, because it involves a lot of negotiations, agreements, and contracts. And I think that's my strong point. So I thought, right, do you know what? I just made my mind up one day before I made the application to the board. I thought, I was already planning it in my head. I was already going to call it Ringtime Promotions. So that was it. I was going to call my brand Ringtime Promotions, and from there, I was already doing loads of things in the background that only I could see. I wasn't showing it to anybody. It was only visible to me. Getting things made up, getting the logo designed, all that kind of stuff. And then I just went for it. Done my application, went in front of the board, done my interviews, got all my references, and there you go, and the license was granted.
So what does that mean? So you went through all this, you've got a license. So for normal people, what power does that give you?
So what that allows me to do is put on professional boxing events anywhere in the country. Well, obviously we're based in Scotland, so I'll be based in Scotland hosting my events in Glasgow, for example. Now I'm in a position where I can manage fighters and promote fighters. If I see any talent, or if I'm scouting for any talent, or I'm also open to work with other promoters as well. And when I announce an event, I can get people, professional boxers that train full time. They're welcome to fight in my show, and I can do the matchmaking and put on a good show. I can put on any number of fights as I want on my event.
And so you wanted to do that. What have you found in leading up to this? And you're putting on, it's your first event you're putting on?
No, I've done a series of events previously. Normally host our events like stuff in the Marriott Hotel, Crown Plaza, or the Hilton. I got my license originally granted, I think it was 2019, prior to COVID. And then yourself, when COVID hit, I put the brakes on everything. 2 years, no events. And then we relaunched straight after COVID around about 2022, May 22. I've just done a few events ever since. And again, just kept my foot in it, running successful events, and everybody attends. Got 500-600 guests come and attend. I hosted dinner events normally, and people come in, have a great night, have a good drinking food, a bit of networking for everybody as well. Everybody comes in, enjoys the boxing, enjoys the fights, and they have a good night and go home, and they talk about it for days later, weeks later,
So how have you found it? You've done a few events, so you put on fights. How have you found it dealing with people, dealing with fighters, getting fighters, other companies?
Yeah, I'm open, like I says, I work with other companies as well, other promoters as well. And, when I announce a show, I get approached, if anybody wants to fight on my event under the banner of Ringtime Promotions, or if it's a joint promotion, there's no issue at all. And we just get the fighters, because I have a list of professional boxers, and then if I can put whoever I can put on, whoever's available, I can put them on the event, and then I can also do the matchmaking. So I can do matchmaking. Some of the boxers come from Brazil, Argentina, Europe, Asia, different parts of the world. Just depends on the weight category and who's available at the time. And then again, you need to promote the show, promote the fights, promote the boxers as well, and get the place full. Get people to back us up, get businesses and board sponsors, and a lot of people come for a night out. Our events are open to not just to anybody's welcome to our events. A lot of female nowadays come to these events as well. It's a good night out for people. Sometimes people come out, couples come out, they might, book a night in the hotel as well, got a night out, they'll get the dinner included as well, and then they have a fantastic night, and then that's them done. It's a night out as well, and it's welcome, open to anybody.
And see, putting on these fights, you got all the trouble of arranging all this. What is the driver? What's making you want to do that? What's pushing you on? Is there a reason or a cause? What is the goal?
The ultimate goal, one, I've been through it myself, so I know what's required, what the boxers are looking for, and as a promoter, I know what, because I've been through it all myself, and I've got that knowledge and experience. So when I was going through it, if I had any there were any pitfalls or anything I didn't like or agree with, or if I thought something was poor. Now when I'm going to do an event, I'll make sure that the fighters don't need to go through any of that.
Yeah.
So I can already tick their boxes straight away and make sure that events are run properly, they run professionally, organised, run smooth, everything runs systematically in an order, and then everybody has a great night. If there's any issues with anybody, you just come see us, we iron them out, make sure everybody's happy and everybody goes home at the end of the night.
That's the thing, safety as well,
And where do you fit into this in your RT Elite promotions?
That's correct, yeah.
So what is your involvement?
So the involvement with obviously ring time this is like more like white collar, and with this is giving a lot of people an opportunity to get into the ring. It's not just professional level. So this is, for example, people who may be training in normal gyms who don't want to go down the amateur road. They don't want to go to the amateur road and build up their boxing pedigree.
Yeah.
So they can approach me, they can step foot in the ring, I can give them some training, get them ring ready, and there's a lot of potential within Scotland that I believe that has to be exposed. And whereas comparing it to down south in England, there's a lot more exposure, whereas I think this is what we lack in Scotland. And not just within Scotland, but even within the Asian community, there's a lot that can be done for them as well. And I believe that everybody should have that freedom to go into that ring or feel comfortable, and this is another road and another route. And if they do well enough with RT Elite, then why not pass them on to my brother who's doing it at the professional level, put them onto ring time. So it's an open door, something that other white collar people can't offer.
Yeah.
And this is a big advantage to the general public,
So
to anybody wanting
it's
to
like basically providing them the pathway. So if they're coming through the events of RT Elite and they've got the wins under their belt, they're they've got the skill, they've got the talent, and they want to progress, I'm here for them.
I mean, the current heavyweight just now, world champion Fabio Wardley.
Aye,
he never went through the amateurs. He went through. He done a few white collar shows, and he done that well. He showed so much heart, exactly, and he ended up going into the pro levels, and look where he is now. And why can there is, I'm sure, within Scotland itself, there's fighters there.
We've got to look at the community we've got here. It's a mixture of everybody here, not just the Asian community. There's anybody's welcome. We're open. Our doors are open for anybody and everybody.
Yeah.
We're not isolating any particular community. We want anybody and everybody. If you've got it, we're ready to look at you and take you on board.
Yeah. So white collar boxing is a good way for people that might not have had that support when they were young, or maybe
100%.
told by the parents, or go and get education, go and be a doctor. Had they maybe shied away from that, or maybe they've got something about them and this is a chance.
Oh, absolutely. So this is not even just a chance, but it's for themselves to prove, and they can showcase their talent in that ring.
Some people have, maybe when they're younger, had a dream.
Aye.
Everybody's, maybe a lot of men, we're men at the end of the men, a lot of them have got that in the back of their mind. I would have loved to have done that. I would have loved to go back and give it a try. Some people might just do it for fitness or to improve their health or just to prove to themselves that maybe at a later point in life I can go back to the gym, improve my health, get fit and strong, and I can learn how to fight, I can learn how to box and take part in one of the contests under RT Elite promotions, and they can, get a win. Yeah. And then for that win, it'll spur them on. They'll be more and more confident, and they'll come back and do it again a second time, a third time, a fourth time. Then they'll fall in love with it. And then, some people might be even at a stage where they might have a drink problem, they might be taking drugs constantly, and this is a route by coming to the boxing world, going to a boxing gym, it'll help them get off that. It'll help them. It's good for rehabilitation as well. And we're open to work with anybody. Yeah. Like I said, if it helps anybody get better, even if they don't want to fight, if it makes a difference to their life in a positive way, in a positive manner, we'll be there for them.
Just now we're running a 6-week training camp, and a couple of the people that are taking part in the show on the 25th of January in the Norman Hotel are actually battled or are still battling mental health issues. And as you may be aware, the way the world is just now, every second or third person has got some sort of issue, be it mental, be it whatever it is, and this is a good way for them to get away from.
Yeah, it's a good you know,
keep focused.
Everybody, I think everybody has got some sort of mental health issues. You know, everybody's going through problems, whether it's in personal life, relationships, or you know, with their children, work life, anything at all. People might have financial issues, worries about anything, medical issues, health issues, and that affects us mentally. In anything, it affects everybody mentally nowadays. Before, mental health was never spoken about.
Yeah,
it was never, you know, known. You know, it was only until the recent years it started to become more popular, and people are talking about how they feel, what's on their mind, let's seek help. As men, we're thought to keep everything to ourselves and not speak about anything.
that's true.
We're thought to suffer in silence.
That's true.
We're human beings at the end of the day. As men as well, you know, men have got health issues, mental health issues that we need to talk about. So why not get involved in sport? You know, when you get involved in sport, it'll make you feel better.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just about, you know, taking part in exercise. You also form a bond with other people training, with coaches and trainers. You become friends. You become like a family. And you know, you can talk about stuff as well. And look, you know, people are always welcome to contact us, to talk to us about anything. You know, if we under Rank Time Promotions or under RT Elite Promotions, we're open. We're welcome to chat. And if we can guide anybody to make a difference in a positive way, why not? It doesn't make there's no effect in us. It doesn't make a difference to us. But again, we can do that as well.
You know, we're here to help, and this is a good route, a good channel to take. And I believe that people that have any kind of mental health issue, doesn't matter what it is, small or big, they're more than welcome, and they'll meet other people, you know, that may have the same kind of problems. They can relate to them, make themselves feel comfortable. They can speak about things, and everybody needs to release energy, and the best way to release energy, I believe, is in that ring.
Yeah.
You know.
Or even if anybody's got aggression problems, they can channel their aggression through punching them bags or on the pad, you know, and you know, release all that aggression.
People
and
have hard day
anger.
at work. People go to work and they come home, they're tired, and you've got your children, and you've got your wife. You might have, you know, a lot of people like, she was nagging, or the kids are nagging, and you just need that. I will.
Really hard.
You just need to get away from it. So it's a good way to, like I said, release that energy. You know, rather than use it in the wrong way, why not use that energy in the right way? And
you know, as well, like boxing, like over the years, you know, it's good for the youth. You know, it keeps people kids out of trouble.
Yeah.
You know, the campaign of people running over the years, put down the knives. You know, people are involved in gangs, the youth and gangs in all these different areas and stuff. Go to a boxing gym, get involved. You know, get involved in your local boxing gym, and you know, you'll go one day, you'll go again. Slowly, you'll fall in love with the sport, and before you know it, you're boxing.
Is there a lot of boxing gyms in Glasgow?
There's quite a few all over Glasgow.
Oh,
you know, there's more and more are popping up. There's a lot of fitness gyms, personal training gyms. There are boxing gyms, but people just need to find
what
one
gym
local
do you guys use, or where can people find yous?
so at current, we're using a gym over in Govan. So you're more than welcome to come. We're doing a camp out at a gym in Govan, the Assassins Gym. We're using that just now. So we're training out there just now. The boys meet there, and maybe about 3 times a week, and we're giving them training in there, doing a bit of sparring in there, so that they're ready for the night of the fight, so they're confident enough, and that's what we want them to feel, confident and safe. And again, I always touch on safety, but the safety of other fighters is a big thing, because I want them to feel secure, feel safe, you know, when they're in that ring, because a lot of people you'll notice a lot of I want to keep this different from other white collars, because when you go to these places, some white collar shows, it's just they're swinging wild, somebody's knocked out, there's no rules or regulations.
There's a lot of mismatches you see in white collar, you know, where somebody that's never picked up a glove in their life is thrown in with somebody that's experienced, and they walk in and they get knocked out. You know, and whether it's in the first, second, or the first punch, you know, and it's a dangerous sport.
I believe everyone should be matched evenly.
Yeah.
And it makes sense because one, it puts a better fight, and you're not fighting on different levels.
Yeah.
Whereas you want everyone to feel they're on the same page. And I think when it comes to matchmaking, as long as they're on that same page, same level, they'll always perform a better show, and it's good for the crowd.
Yeah.
And people can watch this rather than having somebody who's coming on who's, let's just say, had a few fights, amateur level, fighting somebody who's never laced up a pair of gloves.
Yeah.
And he goes in there and he puts his hands up and he's flattened, you know. So you
that
don't
would
want
be me. I'd be the food reviewer going in and getting sparked out.
that. Don't worry, we'll give you some training, you'll be alright, we'll get you ready.
So, see, talking about fight night, let's talk January, the event. When, where, what's going to happen there? Are there a lot of fights on? Like, what's the setup around it?
So at the moment, I mean, you're organising the
that's
fights at the moment. He's doing the
So
matchmaking at
just
the
now,
moment.
that's what we're in the middle of doing just now in the process.
Okay.
So we've got a list of fighters, we're just matching them up. So hoping to have at least 10 fights on the night.
Nice.
Maybe more, but round about that mark, that's what we're aiming for, because obviously depending on the time the show starts and finishes. So it's on the Normandy Hotel, it's a Sunday, and it's on Robbie Burns night on the 25th of January. And everybody's welcome to come along. It'll be a good night.
It's a dinner event. I'm going for the food, by the way.
I was going to ask, what is it?
Well, a lot of people will be.
You know,
As soon as they hear it's a 5-course meal, right, jumping on the bandwagon, right, we're going for food.
Fantastic.
But food.
you know, as we're going with obviously Indian cuisine, and people are going to get their starters. They're going to get the curries, mains, chicken dish, lamb dish, vegetarian dish, your rice, pilau rice, naan bread, your sausage, your salads, a full shooting match.
Aye.
And you get to watch boxing.
Aye,
You get to watch boxing and entertainment on the night. You know, they're also
It'll be a
going to
good
be.
night, enjoyable night.
They're also going to be a bit of entertainment on the night. They're going to be having a auctioning off some boxing memorabilia as well on the night.
Oh, that's right. We'll be doing that on the
Good
night.
stuff, eh?
Yeah. So there's some of the stuff, for example,
Don't have to disclose it, but some signed off stuff.
sign off stuff.
And what makes this event different from other fight nights in Scotland?
One like this event that he's going to be doing, you know, this one is.
So it'll be professionally run for a start. So basically, you know, it's not going to be the way my brothers ran his events. I've went to his shows. I've seen how he organised his events, how they've ran. You know, we've got security in place. You know, it's not like there's a lot of things that this will basically. You're just walking into a professional show. It will be implemented and run efficiently. It's not going to be your typical, you know, anyone can just turn up and, you know, that there's nobody there, there's no security, no nothing, people are shouting and bawling and fights break out, nothing like that. We want to keep it clean, we want people to enjoy themselves, and I'm not just trying to get youngsters or individuals to come, we want families to come. We want everybody, we want to hit every market, we want everyone to come, take part, enjoy it, have a good night, so that they say, you know what, we had a good night. And then when we run a second and third event, they'll see from this first event how good it goes, and they'll come.
And have you got, so are you allowed to say any fighters' names and people in Glasgow? Have you got good guys coming?
I mean, I've got a couple of names there. Just announced one. We're going to announce one. Actually today was Tartan Blood.
Tartan Blood?
Yeah, so he's a well-known Scottish boy.
I think I've seen him
Yeah.
on the socials maybe.
Yeah.
So he's fighting Nathan from the Feeder Ding.
Aye.
So
Nathan to the Bing, yep, that's right. Aye, so they actually fought previously, but it was a controversial draw. So they're going to fight on our show and under RT Elite Promotions, and we'll get to see who the real king of the ring is on the 25th of January between that Tartan Blood and obviously Nathan.
And also, I think you've got Nadeem Iqbal.
Yep. And we've got a famous Asian from Glasgow fighting on Nadeem Iqbal. So he obviously has had a couple of fights previously. He had a win and then he had a wee
It was again his last fight. It was a wee controversial decision.
Yeah.
And now he's wanted to take part on this platform on the 25th of January and, you know, come back, you know, show us what he's made
You know, it'll
of.
be good for him to showcase what he's capable of. I believe he didn't get to show that because I've seen his previous fight, and I think in this show he'll be able to show more. he can show what he's capable of, what he can prove, and I think he'll be able to do that this time. And you know, it'll be good for him as well.
And we've also got on event Shazman Parnes.
So see, I've seen his last name.
Yeah,
So is he related?
he's our nephew.
So that's right. So Shazman, that's my nephew. So he'll be fighting on the show. So he's got a good boxing pedigree
He's
already.
a big prospect, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah.
so
So he's boxed amateurs, won the British. He's won the, I think, 5 times. Won the Scottish already.
So he's got a good amateur pedigree. You know, you just need to stick to hard work. Him as an amateur, he's so far accomplished. He's 5 times Scottish champion, gold medalist, 4 times Western District champion, gold medalist, 3 times Hull Box Cup winner, gold medalist, and he's won the GBs 2 or 3 years in a row, and 1 year he was a runner-up. And he's had obviously loads of amateur fights over the years, and so he's coming back. He's going to fight on this platform, maybe have a few fights with under RT Elite Promotions, and see how he gets on, and then probably make that transitional to the professional game in the coming 1 or 2 years under Ring Time Promotions.
That'll be like a good sort of family affair, won't it then?
That'll be good. It'll be good because he can showcase what he's got, and obviously have a few fights under RT Elite, see how he gets on. He's doing well, and then it's an open window for the professional league for him.
And are there? So I've seen his name before, and I've seen he's like a prospect. Someone that's got what it takes to be big.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any other people in Glasgow on your radar that are like young, even Asian fighters?
Yeah, so even in your event, you've got some young ones on that as well.
That's right, I do,
So again from the south side of Glasgow, and let's see how everybody gets on over the coming year.
Aye.
And whenever you do your next events, and see how they get on. If you can see any talent, I can have a chat with them, tell them to stick to it, keep doing what they're doing. You'll be able to give everybody the dates for the shows.
With these shows, as they build their fighting record, if they do well, get the wins, then why not sign them over to my brother? He can take them up in ring time if he feels that they're doing well enough.
Yeah.
So it'll be good for the fighters as well, to go in the ring, perform, see how they do, have a few fights, and if they get the wins, like I said, if they're doing really well, they're getting the wins. Obviously, my brother's can attend. He'll be attending the shows. He'll see, what this person's got, what it takes to become professional.
I mean, people can see, even at attending these events, people will be able to meet me.
Yeah.
They'll be able to speak to me, come up and have a wee chat with me. Any words, any advice, or point them in the right direction. And like I says, I'm open to anything. And if, like I says, anybody's talented or skillful, who I can see will be a great prospect in the future, I'm willing to take them on.
We've had one of the boys that are fighting on the show. His mother actually approached me and she was like, "Look, if my son does well enough, do you think he could ever become professional? Because it's something that he's got a dream of, and I would love to be a part of that." Right. And I said, "Look, 100%." I goes, "This is why I'm saying, if your son does well, we're going to put on the show. He does well. We'll get another few shows. If he's doing well and he's got what it takes, then I goes straight away. There'll always be my brother's ring time promotion that we can put him on to, and we can sign him up." But again, I just it's a
the main thing is that first event under RT Elite Promotions get launched next month, and it's going to be a fantastic event, fantastic night. People are going to love it. They're going to want to keep coming back to these events because they're going to just enjoy it that much. Yeah. The fighters are going to want to take part again and again and again. They're not going to leave RT Elite Promotions alone. They're going to keep doing their head in every event.
Because once they get to the top in RT Elite, the next step, opening door, will be straight into ring time promotions for them if they're doing well enough.
So they've got a career path.
And also as well, RT Elite Promotions, you discussed with me that they're going to be running an RT Elite series in the future.
That's right, it will be.
Where there'll be a RT Elite series champion in different weight categories, which will be a great thing. So this will get more people involved, and then people will need to have a title or a belt to fight for. That's and they'll see each weight category who's a top dog here in Glasgow, in Scotland, or in the UK.
Who knows, future already have had calls, down in England. They say maybe have a Scotland v England.
Aye.
You know,
Can you imagine that? If you're up against one of them and it's like the Frank Warren and Matchroom kind of thing.
Yep.
aye. So that'll be something interesting as well, something to look into in the future. So after the first event, you know, see how they get on.
Yeah.
Get them on a second event, and you know, why not? Maybe take it to that level,
Yeah.
and then from there, you know, again, it's another pathway. Whether they win the fights, you know, there's a belt there on every weight category, you know, and who holds the belt, who's the best, and it's always going to be from that you'll be able to tell who's going to be able to go to that pro level.
Yeah. Now we're going to do some quick random questions, right? Just to stop boxing for a second. So just no hesitation, boom, right?
Right.
So do you prefer pre-training meal or post-training cheat?
Pre-training meal.
Pre, your post?
Post.
He must be going for the desserts, I think. Yeah.
Best food in Glasgow?
Best food in Glasgow, the one I cook myself. when I
Homemade food, aye. Oh, your mum's cooking. My mum's cooking.
Fair enough. Worst thing you've eaten before training?
worst thing I've ever had is, you know, having
Burger?
yeah, any like eating fast food and having fizzy juice
Aye.
So
years
it
ago.
just sits there and you can't move.
You know, I had a Pepe's Extreme Hot once before football.
Round three.
Heartburn.
Torture. Right, kebab or burger?
Kebab.
One thing you never allow in your gym?
Anybody to drink any alcohol or turn up training steaming.
I agree. Go with
Tea or
that.
coffee?
Coffee.
Nice. Okay. One habit that separates winners from everyone else?
Dedication.
Dedication and consistency.
And out of you two, who eats the most?
No, listen, I've cut weight already this year.
Okay.
Saying that, maybe this year he's been doing well, so give him that, right?
Yeah.
But
I've seen him eating the chips and burgers and all sorts. Don't let him fool you.
I might know this, but I might have changed now. Early mornings or late nights?
Late nights.
And what's your favourite walkout song if you're fighting?
Gala Free from Desire.
I like the song from The Matrix, Club to Death. If you know that,
No, I need to look it up.
intro, listen to it. In fact, I should put it on for you just now.
No, let's hear it. I need to hear this now. It's going to be some good tune.
Aye, hopefully.
Right, let's hear this, right? Right. 1 wee second.
Oh, that's that.
Right,
I was
that's
gonna
finished.
say that,
Right.
Oh, you okay, yeah, I've heard that.
Wait, let it kick in.
This is when the back's coming through, comes round on it. Does the walkout.
Oh, that's it.
Ah, about that, aye, that's
This is the bit where they walks out now.
Is that the Matrix, aye?
That's a bit
Alright, okay.
loud and that kind of atmosphere. Everyone's all
Yeah, that is a good song,
That's a
aye.
good walkout
That is a good walkout song.
Right, so we're going to... Anybody can answer, right? These are headliner questions, right? What's the biggest lie people believe about white-collar boxing?
You think that anybody can do it? But it's not just anybody can do it. It's you still need to show a bit of commitment. You know, like when it comes to turning up.
You know, people think that they just throw anybody in the ring, and it doesn't matter if they're beginners, no experience, never laced a glove in their life, but they still need to again be in a gym. You know, go through the training regime. They need to be dedicated and focused as well. They need to commit themselves.
Yeah. Now, what separates someone who talks about fighting from someone who actually steps in the ring?
Well, somebody who steps in the ring, first of all, they've got the heart, first of all. We need to have the heart and the spirit. You're a bigger man stepping in the ring, first of all.
You know. It's like you've been in the ring, you know. Whereas somebody who's not stepped in the ring and just gives the talk, they don't understand the 3 minutes may feel like 3 hours.
Hey.
Genuinely.
They know all about it.
Round, they won't realise it until they've actually been in that ring.
They only know about it when they get punched in the face.
Aye, basically.
Who said that saying?
And Mike Tyson, wasn't it?
Aye.
I think you've been hanging about with him too much.
Okay, so January event. Why should someone who's never watched boxing come to the event?
I mean, it'll be a great night for everybody. It'll be, they'll enjoy the atmosphere. It'll be a calm atmosphere. It'll be, there'll be music there as well. There's a DJ on the night as well.
I might even motivate them to get in the ring.
Yeah. And
They might say, you know what, I fancy this. Why not?
Somebody might think, wait a minute, I think I can take him. So, you just don't know.
It's like when you watch let's just say you're watching the boxing, say they've got a few of the boys at the house and you've got a boxing fight on, you'll probably see this, and it's like the football, when somebody scores, they're all right in the telly, you're about to smash the telly up, you're right up close. Oh, come
Everybody's, when they're sitting, they're moving like that as well. Automatically, if you're right tuned into it, you're bobbing and weaving the punches, sitting outside.
Being at the show, you're taking part in the show, you're there, you feel like you're involved. You don't know, you'll be like, I want to do this. So it'll be very, very good and beneficial for the public that are going to be.
If somebody doesn't have it, it's just a great night out.
Aye.
A bit of food and entertainment for the evening, and they can, talk about it for the coming days.
Yeah. So, before we get to wrap up, right, who do you think is the best fighter to come out of Scotland? From past to present?
Well, Ricky Burns has done well, hasn't
Ricky Burns has done well. Josh Taylor has done really well. He was undisputed champ as well. And
what happened to Josh Taylor with Catterall? Is it Styles?
Styles again.
Way of fighting,
different ways of fighting. And also his last performance again. Catterall was just a better man on the night. And again, it depends who turns up on the night.
Yeah.
Sometimes being a boxer, you could be fantastic. You could be the best boxer in the world, unbeatable. Nobody can beat you. Yeah. And one particular fight on that night, you just don't turn. You don't show up.
Yeah.
Your performance suffers. You just don't know what's wrong, and you just lose the fight, or you get caught unexpectedly. You get caught right in the chin, and you're down.
And both of you tell me, what's your best fight that you've watched ever? Favourite fight?
My favourite fight?
So you in actual attendance?
Anywhere?
Anywhere, even on telly?
Some fight?
Well, if you're talking about the best fight in my life, I've seen like Muhammad Ali and George Foreman. That was just phenomenal. That was like a war. It just showed you that how it's not just about being able to be a good boxer, but you need to be smart and clever. Muhammad Ali, he was getting beat. He was taking every punch. What did he do in that night? He took a beating. George Foreman got so tired, and in the last couple of rounds, he was that drained. He had no energy. Muhammad Ali reserved his energy, caught him, and put him down.
Muhammad Ali, it was a rope-a-dope. He was on against the ropes every round after round. George Foreman's digging in, shot after shot, hard shots, which probably would have floored anybody.
100%.
And even George Foreman later on in an interview, he says, I couldn't believe that this guy's not going down. What's this guy made of? And then, eventually when they got to round 8, it was, I'm pretty sure, when he's knackered, no energy in him, and Muhammad Ali spins him around, catches him with a combination, and George Foreman's away down. He couldn't get back up. He just had nothing left in the tank. He was drained. And if it was like somebody else, taking the hard shots, George Foreman was a serious big hitter.
See, that generation of boxing fighters of that time were made of something different. And I believe it was all heart. Whereas the generation now, there's very few, which there is, I'm not saying there is not, but there's very few people that have that kind of heart. Whereas back then it was all heart, dedication, blood, sweat and tears went into this kind of training, and they proved it and showcased it.
Yeah. Back then they were just like, they didn't duck anybody, no excuses.
Yeah.
If a fight's on, it's on. They'll be training through full training camp, hardcore training, old school training. There was none of that today, modern sports science involved.
Yeah.
Whereas that time was like hard grit, sweat and tears, and that's it. They had the heart for it and the desire. Nobody used to make excuses.
There's a lot of trilogies back then.
Yeah,
People
Definitely.
just fought all the time.
you know, people.
100%.
Yeah. It was like they were hardcore. You look at the even they were solid. They were look at the shape of the boxers from back then as well. Even the heavyweights, you know,
Aye.
they were like solid, big guys.
90% of that generation, you never seen a unfit boxer. Majority of people fighting those generations were all fit, and were all dedicated, all strong-hearted, and all. I believe there was no mental health issues because we never heard of it back then. Even when we were growing up, we hardly heard of it. Whereas the generation now and the way things are going just now, it's a big topic. It's a major thing.
You think Larry Holmes is the last of that generation?
I'd say so.
Aye.
Innit? He
Yeah,
was
I mean,
partner then.
that's
Yeah, I mean, Larry Holmes was a big guy.
Aye.
Oh, he
He's
was.
a big guy, you know, powerful guy, you know, and he accomplished a lot as well. And then obviously when he went on, he was getting old, and the age was catching up with him. You know, when he was started to get beat, he started to get knocked out. You know, it was it was a hard thing, you know, for him. But again, he's probably one of the last, I'd say.
You think Triple G is underrated?
Yes,
Triple G underrated, yes. I agree. Yes.
Massively,
massively. I mean, from what he is and accomplished, and you know,
Definitely.
undisputed champion at his weight, he should be more and more recognised, been more out there, and you know, he should have been given a bit more respect,
More credibility,
more
definitely.
credibility.
that comes down to his promotional company, maybe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Again, it's being out there, and you know, it comes down to his promotional company.
Yeah, he was a killer.
You know, by looking at him, he just looks like a normal guy.
Well, that's mad, isn't it? He doesn't think I'm the nicest guy, but he's
Nice
a
and
killer.
humble.
Aye.
He's a killer.
As you spoke about earlier, looks can be deceiving, you know.
A lot of boxers you meet, a lot of boxers are always one of the nicest people you meet in boxing.
Aye.
You know, everybody's like a big family. You know, a lot of the boxers that I meet, always great people. When you know, you never meet a bad boxer.
I think this sport it's meant to humble a person, you know.
You know,
rather than, so you remember, you're using this sport in the positive. So people believe that, he's got anger issues, he's got, let's just say, mental health issues. But this is when they put it into play, and when they're doing boxing and they're in the ring and they're, you know, training hard.
Yeah.
This is humbling a person. It's basically
you know,
containing them, you know.
yeah. But when you see a person that's like trains regularly, you don't even need to know that person. You know by looking at them if they're in good shape as well and they're fit and healthy looking. By just looking at them, you know that's a dedicated person. That person's consistent.
Yeah.
He's got a drive and he's got motivation. That's without knowing a person. You can just tell that.
Yeah.
You know, if a person's constantly in the gym, some natural characteristics you can tell that person has within him. Motivation, you know, he's got the desire, he's got the hunger, because he's consistent. He keeps going, and he doesn't give up.
Yeah, it's things you just pick up.
You just
You've been
pick up.
doing it so long.
Yep.
You know the signs.
Yeah.
What tells about a person.
Yeah.
They can
You
do
know
that.
these kind of things, and you know by seeing a person, especially a boxer,
You can see one's capability.
how they perform and how they move and stuff. You know, if they're practicing that day in day out, you can tell straight away what kind of person you're dealing with in front of you, without knowing them.
Yeah.
You don't need to even know them. You can tell straight away that this person's got these characteristics within them.
You know who's going to go far. You can just tell by looking at them.
Aye. You boys, you've got a few prospects you think will do well, hopefully.
Hopefully,
Yes.
you know, people come through, get in touch with us, and we'll do our best for you to take them higher.
100%.
And again, I'd just like to touch for your next event on the 25th of January. Tickets are on sale. Boxing only tickets are £65, and the dinner guest tickets are VIP tickets, £150 per person,
Yep.
and that includes a meal, includes all the food and drink, and a full night of entertainment and boxing. Tickets are available directly from RT Elite Promotions. They're also on sale
Eventbrite.
on Eventbrite ticket platform. And just get in touch with any of the fighters who you know that are going to be taking part in the event. Tickets will also be available directly from them.
The food's going to be class from
Yeah.
what I've
Food
heard
is.
of where you may get it from, so
Yes.
you don't want to miss the food.
You don't want to miss the food now.
You don't want to miss the food.
So that alone is a good reason for a night out.
Yeah.
100%.
Something different. People need to come out the bubbles a wee bit and experience different things.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
absolutely, 100%.
Because
You
you could,
don't know.
because at any fight night, nobody's done Indian food yet. So we'll be the first.
Aye.
Definitely. So it'll be something different for everybody as well. Something to look forward to. Not just the food, but a good night of boxing as well. See a good people who showcase their talent in the ring.
You know, it's good as well that under RT Elite Promotions, you know, people that have never boxed before, they can go through a training camp in a beginner stage. You know, they can get involved, and then they might have one fight. They might win or lose, but then it will spur them on to then go, right, I want to take part in a future event. You know, I'm going to now make myself better than my last performance. If they, for example, didn't perform as well, they might go back to the drawing board and say, listen, I look terrible, and I want to make myself better. So they'll go back to the gym, back to the drawing board, improve on their faults.
Yeah.
You know, when training and punching and sparring, they'll know themselves straight away what they need to work on.
Training camps, is there age groups?
No.
All ages or what?
All ages.
Right.
All ages. So different age groups.
Different age groups, different experiences.
Yeah.
That's good.
So we've got a good wee mix.
Male or female are welcome.
Welcome, yep.
Yeah. The female thing's big right now. You know.
Yeah.
And, they need
Even in women's boxing, because overall there aren't as many in each weight category. So if a female comes through and she turns out to be really good, she can get to the top quicker.
Aye, that's true.
And we can get her a quicker path, a few fights, and we can build a path up very, very quick. She could be fighting for the
Because that's a
title in no
market
time.
where there's not so many. Whereas if there is potential therein, which I believe there is in Scotland, there's somebody doing well, and the female has a few fights, does well, it's an easier pathway for her going through this route.
I was going to make a joke about if someone identifies as something they could fast track, but I don't want to get cancelled. Talking about that.
You know, yeah.
Right, I'm going to wrap up, lads. So thank you. It's been a pleasure meeting you guys.
Nice meeting you too.
Nice meeting you too.
And honestly, I'm so excited for what you guys are doing, and
Thank
I
you.
will be following and tuning in and sharing stuff.
Nice.
Hope it does well for the community.
No, I
and
appreciate
Scotland
it.
as well.
I appreciate it.
Right, so that's a wrap on today's episode of the George Podcast. Big love to the sponsors that keep the show alive: Steak Lounge and Grill, Spuddies, Mr. Chef and Figos. Your support lets us keep a shining light on the future of Scotland's entrepreneurs. See you in the next episode.